Hey guys, it's John. Right, this is a thread response to Dan Powers, who's done this really good idea, but very hard to choose 10 albums that I listened to in the 80s that were 80s albums that are my favourites. Initially I thought I wasn't going to have enough because obviously I was born in 76, was 10 in 86. That's when I got into rock and metal. Didn't have pocket money, so I had to wait around till my mum bought me the Final Countdown album by Europe. And then got heavily into Europe, heavily into Whitesnake and Def Leppard, and those were the only three bands that really mattered to me at the time. There was lighter bands that I like Queen and stuff like that, but you'll see my little journey with my 80s albums that I played more or less till they died, to be quite honest, till the cassette that I was playing actually got destroyed or wore out. I won't be able to show you them on cassette now because I don't have them, but I thought this was going to be a real hard one to do, and I even put a comment on Dan Powers' video that I wasn't sure that I even owned 10 albums at that time, but some of these are ones that I listened to that were in my uncle's collection. Very influenced by what my uncle listened to. Didn't have musical parents at all. Well, my mum was, she liked some 80s music and 70s stuff, but didn't really have a collection of or any CDs or anything of any sort, or any cassettes, or when I was growing up. So so the first one where it all started for me is going to be Europe's The Final Countdown. That was just a world changer, well, game changer for me. Music before this was that I would listen to only if it came on the radio because it didn't have a stereo, or if we heard it in the car on the off chance I was in my dad's car because my mum didn't have a car. So the only time I could ever hear music was on Top of the Pops, or if it came on the radio. So I remember when the Final Countdown came out, the song, but before that, the songs I listened to were Tears for Fears, Shout, a-ha's The Sun Always Shines on TV, which I loved those songs, and obviously I love all that stuff still now. But at the time, album wise, that was the first one that I played till my cassette was, so worn out. I had it on auto reverse, and it used to be like on the ceiling from my father. Something fell over. Oh, Captain Scarlet fell over. It'd be banging on the ceiling, turn that shit off, and I'd be like, fuck you. So there we go, first one. And obviously that influenced me to go out and get this album, which was absolutely awesome as well. And I played these records in my grandfather's car with his cassette player, and I'd play these all weekend if we went out in his car, because we always used to go looking in garages. We were always messing around with cars and bikes and stuff like And yeah, we'd always be hunting for cars for sale, and I always used to have my music on in his car, and yeah, so, and even to the point where he would say, John, can we put something else on? Now, that would be probably about a couple of hours of playing one of these albums over and over again. So yeah, but amazing album, and I still love these to this day. And that influenced, obviously, Out of This World. Funny story behind this. I was so young when this came out. I was, what, 12? And I think I bought this in about 1989. It definitely wasn't 88. And yeah, I bought this, yeah, about 89. And I was standing in Woolworths. And I saw the cassette on the shelf. And it had a big sticker on it saying special edition, limited edition, red cassette, because obviously the vinyl on some of these are red, and it said collector's edition. And I thought, am I actually allowed to buy that? Am I actually a collector? And I immed and ammed about it, and because of my autism I took things quite seriously. So yeah, I immed and ammed about buying it, and I kept checking to make sure there wasn't any people like spying on me, like store people, making sure I wasn't trying to steal something. And then I left the cassette there on the shelf, and I went back about a week later, and I plucked up the courage to buy it, and I bought it. And they never asked me any questions, are you a collector? And I thought, maybe that's just because it's a limited edition. But yeah, that's how I suppose naive I was about collecting stuff then and buying stuff. But yeah, I was ready with the answer when I got to the till. If she was going to ask me, are you a collector? Should you be buying this? And I was just, you know, at 12 years old, I didn't have a clue. So yeah, there we go, Out of This World. And I got that thing. I love it. I love all of those albums to bits. The one that I used to get moaned at the most for playing in the car is the next one. There's a compilation, and this is what started me on my journey of discovering all these other artists, and it is Hot City Nights. My uncle had this on cassette, and I wore it out. He had it for a couple of weeks, and I had it for the rest of its life, I think. But yeah, you got Queen on here, Bon Jovi, Bryan Adams, Whitesnake, Heart, Robert Plant, Marillion, Billy Idol, Magnum, Eric Clapton, Foreigner, Kiss, INXS, Pat Benatar, Big Country, and Rush. Yes, the Rush song is Spirit Radio. First time I heard it, and first time I heard all those songs, to be quite honest, except from probably the Queen and the Whitesnake song, and Hearts alone. But yeah, I wore that out. That was even my grandfather said to me, if you play that in the car ever again, I will throw it out the window. So yeah. And then the one that followed that, similar to that, was this one here. The Best of Whitesnake, the first Best of Whitesnake from 1982. This is we had the cassette version of this. The cassette only had 10 songs. This has got 15. Yeah, I love this. This is where my love of early Whitesnake came, and all those amazing early songs. I love that band. That's why they're my favourite band ever. And yeah, it might sound a little bit, you know, dated to some people, but it doesn't to me. I love it to bits. If I was on a desert island, this would be one that I'd have to have with me. But yeah, and I've always loved the picture of David Coverdale on the front cover. And yeah, that's you know, there's a couple of songs in there from the 70s, so I shouldn't have picked that up, but this compilation came out in 82, so there we go. Well, I suppose some of the songs on there are slightly old as well, but that compilation, Hot City Nights, came out in 88. Next one, what was that? Yes, we're going to go with this one, and it is another one my uncle got me into. Was Queen. First album I ever heard of Queen. This is the Dogs Baloney's for a Queen album. Best live Queen album for sure. People will say, but what about Wembley One? That's amazing as well, but I actually prefer the sound on this. So yeah, pretty cool. But yeah, absolutely amazing. Loved it. And that came out in 86. And I don't know where his cassette went. I don't know if he had it back or I lost it. But I'll apologise to my uncle now. Sorry. Another two big albums of that time. Make sure we're going to do these. That I listened to loads. Def Leppard's High and Dry. Like I've said before, I only knew a couple of people that listened to this, and it was only until I came onto the VC I realised how many people love this album, and I loved it to bits. And yeah, another one that my grandpa would say, oh, do I have to listen to that again? So yeah, and absolutely amazing, and the songs on there apart from one are amazing. So and obviously Hysteria, and this is the reissue. I've got the originals obviously, but I just pulled this one out. So yeah, another amazing album that played so much. Everybody knows what this sounds like, more or less, and so I'll put that down. And next one, Whitesnake's 1987 album. I've got it on normal, but this picture disc, this does not have Here I Go Again on it, which is unusual. It's a UK one. So yeah, there we go. So 1987, played that, and I always loved looking forward to the drum solo in Crying in the Rain. That was just like awesome. And then the last one, Whitesnake's Slip of the Tongue. Another totally awesome album. A lot of people hated on this a lot, but I loved it to bits. And when you listen to the guitar solo in, is it Cheap and Nasty? Or Kittens? Oh no, Wings of the Storm, sorry. If you listen to the guitar solo on there, that is one hell of an amazing guitar solo. But yeah, Sailing Ships is my favourite on there for a slow song. And yeah, absolutely amazing. Love that. Played the singles from that over and over again so much. That was my 10, but there were a few that I had to throw off, and I did listen to them a lot. So I'm going to quickly show you, but those are my 10. I wanted to show that I used to listen to that a lot. Chris Rea's Shamrock Diaries. That was one I was going to put in. Also his New Light Through Old Windows. That was another one. Krista Berg's Into the Light. Wasp, Headless Children, that was right at the end of '89, and Skid Row. That was the other ones that I wanted to put in. And there was also another one that I used to listen to loads. No, two. The Eagles' greatest hits, the first greatest hits, and Frankie Goes to Hollywood's Welcome to the Pleasure Dome. So yeah, used to listen to those a lot as well. The same as these, but those 10 that I showed you in the first were my ones I had to choose as my favourites. So cheers for watching. Keep rocking, and great thread, Dan. And Mickey, Metal Mickey, what's yours? Awesome as well. Cheers. See you later.